It's cold, so just lift and roll your shoulders just to get the energy to flow. Lift the toes and just place them back down again. Breathing in, just turn your head to the left. And breathing out, turn your head to the right. Come back to the centre. I want to start straight away with boosting the immune system, and this should get you warm as well. So this is the upper respiratory tract. This is a tract, I think, for things like flu and COVID, so really important. So starting straight away, as far as you can go if your shoulders are stiff. And last one. If your hands are tired, just arms tired, just lift and roll your shoulders. Just lift and drop one shoulder at a time. So just that on its own is massively helpful to boost your immune system, boost your energy, the upper respiratory tract. So remember that over Christmas. And just slide, move from side to side. And then just come to slowing that down. And we're going to do the middle lungs, which is not my favourite and it's odd, but hands on little fists, hands under the armpits. The idea is actually almost to connect the elbows to the intercostal ribs, because that kind of loosens them, like cystic fibrosis, and gets you really. So this is middle, that chicken wings. That vibration, as I said, you can hear it, is just loosening everything off. And then just start to slow down and leave it. And then just lift and roll the shoulders again, lift and drop, lift both and drop. If you were really fanatic about doing this and boosting your immune system, you would do upper, middle and lower for about 25 times each one, and you would do it 2 or 3 times a day. And then the final one, it's just the lower lungs, so getting rid of a lot of toxins and detoxifying. So you can feel your tummy contracting as you breathe out. And the last one. And then again, just lift and roll shoulders. And a very iconic yoga teacher, who's also a doctor, says if you do those 3 exercises and nothing else, your health overall will be improved massively. And they come, if you're interested, from a series of yoga which has kind of got lost to time a little bit and has been revived recently. And it's the Kerala warriors down in the south, and it's part of their overall training for fitness. But it obviously goes into yoga. And it also forms part of the rehabilitation program, if that's not the right word, reconditioning program for people who go climbing in high altitude. And the other ones, part of that they do, is marching on the spot, which we can do quite easily. Just getting, again, it's a vibration through the body. And then start to slow it down. And then the other one, I'm not asking you to do this at all, but the other ones are star jumps.
Yeah,
So, yeah, but that is just, oh God. I can see Sarah looking, well, she is doing it, and just calm down and just, I mean, that's not something we do. And again, you can feel it just boosting up your your system, and various ones on that. So just lift and roll your shoulders. And breathing in, just something a little bit more familiar. Clasp and reverse. Stretch up. Breathing out, just slightly to one side, bouncing in and out. Your intercostal stretch, your lateral stretch. Breathing in, come to the top. Breathing out, come to the other side. Breathing in, stretch up. Breathing out, just turn slightly to one side. Into the centre, and breathing out, turn to the other side. And then come to the centre, really stretch up, and then lower the hands, lift and roll the shoulders. And hands on waist, feet hip width apart. Just bend the knees, this puts on the abdominal control. And breathing in, coming to standing, and then just lift the heels. Balance, well done. And then lower the heels. And then just shake the hands out. And lift and roll the shoulders. Clasp the hands behind, open the shoulders. Turn to the left, just lift your hands slightly away from you. Come to the centre and turn to the right. Come to the centre. If you want to make it a tighter V, you can clasp your hands together, but that might limit your how much you lift your hands up, and then just release. Just circle the hands. So you've done a little bit of work on the shoulders, and then hands on the waist and hula hoop the hips. As we're coming to the hips, just swirl the energy round. And then swirl the other way. And then just drop the hands, bring the feet a little bit closer together, slide the hands down to the tops of the thighs, well, thumb around the thighs, and just circle the knees in one direction. And then circle the knees in the opposite direction. And then standing up, and lift the heel of the right foot, and comfortably just circle the knee, circle the ankle, one direction. And then circle in the opposite direction. And then just place that foot down and do the same to the other side, lifting the heel and just circling one way. And then circling the other way. And then come to the centre. So a couple of half salutes to the sun, palms together at the heart centre. Soften the knees, circle the arms to where it works for you, stretch up, palms through the centre. Bend the knees, slide the hands onto the shins. Half lift. Breathing out, bending. Breathing in, half lift. Stay here as you breathe out. Breathing in, soften the knees, press the feet down and roll up to standing. Hands up, come through the centre. Palms by the side of you. Hands together at the heart centre. Soften the knees, circle up, hands together. Come through the centre. Hands onto the knees, to the shins. Half lift. Soften in. Half lift. Stay here as you breathe out.
Breathing in, roll up to the centre.
Stretching up. And lower hands.
And then we're going to come to salute the sun, so you know exactly where you are on that. Coming to, how, anybody else, how vigorous do you want to make it?
Don't mind. Like slightly
Slightly more traditional or
Traditional? Little girls, go for it.
Yes, go for it.
Okay, I'll watch.
It's cold day.
Whole day.
Hands together, up to the top, palms at the top.
come through the centre, slide your hands down all the way to the floor. And then slide or step your right foot back. Right leg in one line, tummy in. Slide your left foot back. You're in plank in a straight line. And then bend your knees back down to the ground. And then come to snake your way through to lie on your tummy. Hands out in front of you. Stretching out. And then breathing in, slide the hands back to either side of your chest and just subtly lift up. Breathing out, lower the head back down to the ground. Tuck your toes, press down on your hands, elbows in to come back to kneeling. Your toes are tucked and then come up to your downward dog. Feel that you can shorten your dog by moving your hands slightly closer to your hands if that's more comfortable. And come to walk the dog by bending one knee and then the other knee. Press back with both legs, both heels, they don't have to touch the ground. And then soften the knees and walk the feet to the hands to the feet. Soften the knees, press the feet down and roll up vertebra by vertebra to standing. Breathing in, hands up. And breathing out, lower the hands. If you feel that you want to do a chaturanga, you feel free. So hands together. Breathing in and up. Soften your knees and elbows as you slide the hands down to either side of your feet. And then step back to your left foot. You can drop your knee down or have it lengthened. Right foot, you're in plank. You can either drop your knees or you can come straight down to the ground, chaturanga. Slide your hands out. Stretch out. Slide your hands back to the chest. Half lift up. And then just lower the head down to the ground. Tuck the toes, elbows in, come to the knees, or if you're strong enough, come straight back up into downward dog. Walk the dog. And then soften the knees as you walk. The feet to the hands to the feet. Bend the knees and roll up to standing. Up. And then lift and roll the shoulders. Again, hands together at the heart centre. Soften the knees, breathing in, arms up. Breathing out, lower the hands to the floor. Step back with your right foot, left foot, straight line. Choose whether you drop the knees to the ground or come to the ground in chaturanga. This time bottom up and snake through into Sphinx. Breathing in, looking forward, pulling your tummy a little bit. Breathing out, just widen your elbows and lower the head to the ground. Tuck the toes, elbows in, press down with your hands. Then into downward dog. Choose your dog. Walk the dog. Extend both legs. And then walk the feet to the hands to the feet. Soften the knees. Rolling up to standing. Hands up. Hands lower. Hands together at the heart centre, soften the knees. Hands up.
breathing out.
Lower the hands to the floor, bending your knees. Stepping or sliding left foot back, right foot in a straight line. Coming down to the floor into Sphinx.
Or you could have snaked through, coming to lift up into Sphinx.
Breathing out, lower the head. Hands to either side of you, elbows in.
Pressing down on the hands, come to kneeling, tap the toes.
Coming to down dog. Walking the dog. And then walk the feet to the hands to feet. Soften the knees, roll up.
Hands up. Lower hands. To roll the shoulders.
We just come to a slight variation.
Hands together at the heart centre. Hands up.
Come through the centre. Hands down. Step back into your plank. And then knees to the ground. Bring your bottom towards your heels, stretching out the upper back. Just stay here for an in and an out breath. And then coming up to kneeling, knees hip width apart. And just sway the hips from side to side. And then stop as the hips go to the left, look over your right shoulder if that's available to you. And when you're ready, come back to the centre and hips to the right, look over your left shoulder. Then come to the centre as you breathe in, dip your back, looking up, cat cow. Breathing out, rounding your chin comes to your chest, so we're moving the back. Breathing in, we'll just repeat that a few times, dipping back, looking up. Round your chin to chest. And then puppy pose, so your bottom stays up, you come to your elbows, extend your arms, and then just walk your right arm over to the left. So this will extend your right side. The more you bring your bottom back, the more they'll stretch there on the right side. Head could be on the ground, or it can be resting on the inside of the left arm. And then walk the hands to the centre, and then walk both hands over to the right. And then just feel the stretch on the left side. And then come back to the centre. And move the hands to the left to allow the right foot to come up. So we talked about hips. Just subtly move your right leg out, foot to the right. Bring the hands to the inside of the right foot and just gently come forward. So you'll feel this in the hip and then come back. You can stay upright if you're very flexible and want to bend your elbows, or you can come down towards the ground, then please do that. It's a lizard pose. And then come back to the centre and slide your right leg back. Just sway your hips again from side to side. And then sliding your hands to the right, give space for the left foot to come up. Move your left foot out to the side, to the left if you want that to the space. And then just again, hands inside the left foot. And just sway forwards and backwards. Just stretching out the hip. Then just come back to the centre and slide the left foot back. And then once more sway the hips from side to side. And then just come to bring your bottom towards your heels, slide your hands towards you, and we're going to come to seated with legs out in front of us. I can't believe that any of you are too hot, but if you were, then just let me know.
Not yet.
Do you want the heating up? And I put it up quite high.
It's fine for me.
You're right, Amy. We've got no heating in the house.
Oh, I saw you had guest people in.
They
Oh
actually
my
listening in
God.
today.
Well, yes, apparently it's more work than they thought, so we're not
It
gonna
always
have,
is, isn't it?
we're not going to have the heating today.
Oh God. I hope you get it soon. This week's going to be really cold.
We didn't realise, surely. Surely. It's been out for a week and a bit.
Oh, it's been not suddenly mega cold. really.
Yeah, yeah, so just, I'm back to let these things happen, and Paul is now 23 years old, apparently. Most of the time on, so I mean, you know, it's one of those things. And then just rub your legs, tap, do whatever you want to. Again, for boosting your system, it's almost like a dry skin brushing, it's really helpful. And that dry skin brushing is quite helpful as well, if your circulation.
You should always do it in the direction of your heart.
Okay, so that's upwards.
Yes, always come upwards with your skin
Yes.
brushing, yeah. Rather than away from your heart.
So yes, all these little things. And then just rest your hands to either side of you and toes forward and up a few times. So the aim of this is to boost your circulation. Joss was saying, could she do this with a broken bit of thing? And I said, well, does it go into does moving and then circle your ankles, does it go into the top of the tibia by moving your ankles? She hasn't got her leg in plaster, she's got a brace.
Oh right. It should be the ankles should be okay, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, she's not trying to, when she
As we say, the pointy
concentrating
toes
on her
probably
ankles,
it, doesn't it?
going round would be alright. If
Round
it starts
is
to hurt, then obviously, but she should do it very gently, she shouldn't do it vigorously, but just, yeah, gentle, very gentle.
Okay, I'll tell her.
Yeah, but make sure, it shouldn't fall. Oh,
I-
hang on, here we've got, that's the fifth one, that's the fifth.
It does pull that bit of your leg.
Because
Let's
if she,
go back to my anatomy books.
if she doesn't do it properly, Sarah might have a view. A friend has fractured the top of her tibia and said, can she move her feet? But if she gets it wrong, for the next 2 weeks, she might have to have an operation, and she doesn't want that. And they've said, we don't want to give you an operation, so if you do anything
Or maybe
stupid-
she should just be very, very careful.
Careful.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, of course, by keeping them very still, she runs more risk of clotting and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So-
that's true.
So she just got to, I mean, little things
She
like
just
that,
watched
just
telly.
sort of gently moving her toes and things, yeah, like this. Sort of,
It's such a busy time.
Okay,
rather than the full, that might be a bit too much, but just very gentle, twisting, swiveling her toes and flexing. You know, if she flexes and extends her feet, but not going like that, but just like that, you mean?
Okay.
I'll
Keeping
tell
her
her
feet
that.
still. She wants to keep the blood flowing, obviously.
Yes, it's such a tricky thing, isn't
She's
it?
mobilising, but assume she's mobilising with her, you know, using the left leg and crutches and stuff like that.
She's on crutches
Mm.
and
She's
hobbling
been
along,
told not to move
and
around
she's been
too
told
much.
not to move around too
Yeah,
much.
just to
Yeah.
rest as much as
Yeah.
possible.
But I was saying she could just do with her, you know, sort of flexing and extending her toes and just very gently, you know, making a fist with her toes and, you know, rather
just
than,
get the
rather than,
circulation,
yeah, rather than
Because
going
actually
like
this
that.
does
This
pull
might
on
pull
you.
like, yes.
In front of your leg.
Yeah, it is pulling there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
The
No, that might be.
circles are alright, yeah.
But like, if she just sticks to the movements of the feet, I agree with you, because this is pulling on it, isn't it? Here, yeah, so that's probably not a good idea.
Okay, thank you. So just hug the right knee into the chest. Feel that lovely stretch in the hips. You can always have your foot out slightly, and then just open the right knee to the right, rest the right ankle somewhere. It doesn't have to rest on the top of the left leg, you can put your right foot on the ground, and just move your feet up and down. You can thread your fingers through your feet, but if that's just agony, then don't. And then just circle the right ankle in one direction, and then circle it in the opposite direction. And then, I don't know if you think this is best, use your knuckles, or is there another part of the body, just to rub underneath the sole of the right foot.
Yeah, it's the best way to
Do
do it,
it.
to get into, put pressure on each little bit and
Any bit of your foot that you want to raise with Sue, as to what part of the body you want to nurture.
want to nurture something there. Want to nurture the hips.
Oh yes, hips. Hips. Yes, where's hips? It's on the
Hips
outside.
is on the outer one.
out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it's on the, so all the joints are down from the little toe down to the heel on the outside of the foot. So you can count them down, so little toe, right up here, then shoulders, and then hips. So hips are about sort of halfway down.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a ridge. You've got where your bones go, and then there's a ridge. So that's the hip reflex point.
So in front of the ankle, Sarah, on the outside, in front of the ankle,
Yes, it's
the
about
little
halfway
toe
down
side,
on the right hand side.
so like a ridge there, and that's your hip.
That's
Right
about
foot
that's your
to-
hip.
Right foot to right side.
Yes, yeah. Right to right side, and left to left side, yeah. But that's your reflex point for your hip there. And then your shoulder one, Charlotte, is up where your little toe is, and it goes round and under because of where your shoulders are. Yeah, so just on this bit here. So if you sort of pinch it,
Yeah, I can
and
feel a
then
bit
rub-
underneath. Yeah.
rub your knuckle into the back, it probably feels a little bit crunchy, and that's all the crystals. So that's the reflex point for your shoulder.
For us. Yesterday lunchtime I was talking about all their ailments. And I know Tony was completely hypochondriac in his youth, but
always was, wasn't
it hasn't changed at all.
Mm.
And David's obviously joined in, the chief hypochondriac, and Adrian's got a blocked heart valve. They're not going to do anything about him.
It's probably cheering up. So.
That's right. Just back to things and then just hug up your left knee. And then Richard talked about his heart quadruple bypass.
Really?
So it was just like, Phil and I were just like, oh right, I guess this is lunch for people we've known for years. Yesterday, and then just bring your left ankle over, and the same with your left toes. Just feel that you're boosting, moving the feet. I didn't. Well, Jamie did his tibia skiing, as you rightly said, Charlotte, and in Italy actually, they were fantastic. But I mean, he was young and he was still very compromised. And then I fell over and did something tiny. I hurt for up to a year afterwards. I don't know what I did. So I haven't said that to
The thing is, if you don't let it heal properly, then
Yeah, no,
it's all
exactly.
down.
Yeah, you
Isn't it?
definitely want to be
Yeah.
cautious and first.
She's stuck with Terry 24 hours a day.
Is he fussing over her?
I'm not sure because he's got his own problems. The house is leaking, the roof is leaking, lovely holiday, and just circle gas one way or the other. The kitchen flooded, the new floor, wooden floor. He's getting very stressed and overwhelmed. Well, I saw yesterday plans are crashing around. It wasn't her. It just must have been him. It's a few weeks. She can't really get in the car. That's the other thing. She can't get out. She can't escape.
She's at his mercy, isn't she?
Make or break relationship.
I said,
Put
it's
down the
as
seat,
well.
I
It's
said-
such a busy time coming up now. It's probably
Yeah.
difficult to go and get presents and sort Christmas out and can't.
Yeah.
So if I really want to fancy coming down with me or sit popping in, she's completely
This is
sitting
later in
down.
the week, maybe.
Yeah. I'm a complete sitting duck, she's a complete sitting duck. And then just bounce your legs again and just sit up
And this time, cross your, no, we're not even going to do that, just keep your legs as you are, sit up. Turn to the left, place your right hand to the outside of your left thigh, left hand behind, breathing in, lift up, and breathing out, turn. Looking over your left shoulder, but only to what works for you, capacity. And very gently come back to the centre. Just soften your knees and slide your hands to your shins and a nod to coming forward. And then sliding the hands up, just lengthen the body and turn to the right. So your left hand will go to the outside of your right thigh. Just turn to look over your right shoulder. And then just very gently come back to the centre. And then just slide the hands down to the shins. Lead with the heart, and then just come forward. So this is a forward bend. If you've got long arms, you can hold your big toes. And if not, just place your hands resting on the shins where they work for you. And then just very, very gently straighten up. And we're going to come to lying, if that is okay, and looking at the hips again. So knees bent, feet hip width apart, palms down. Just sway the knees a couple of times from side to side, as we've done before. And then hug the left knee into the chest. Just circle the left knee a couple of times in one direction when you're holding it. So this is hips again. Your circle can be as small or as large as you would like. Circle in the opposite direction. And feel that you can linger in any part that might feel stiff. And then just dropping the hands underneath the left thigh, extend the left foot, extend the left heel, feel that stretch, and then begin to walk the hands up the back of the left leg, bringing the left leg towards you. And you'll feel that stretch at the back of the leg. Now, strangely, kind of along that sciatica kind of part all the way on the back of the leg, hamstrings. This can be implicated in back problems and hip problems, restrictions. And then just let that go and hug the left knee into the chest. And place the left foot on the floor. And then come to the right side as you hug the right knee in. And just circle the right knee a few times in one direction. Again, we're looking at the right hip. And then circle the right knee in the opposite direction. And then hugging the right knee into the chest, drop the hands and begin to extend the right leg upwards. Extend the heel, feel stretch, and then you can walk your hands up and back of the right leg, bringing the right leg towards you. And then when you're ready, when you've had enough, just hug the right knee into the chest. Bring the left knee to join it, and then just rock gently from side to side. And then just supporting the legs underneath, bring the feet down onto the earth. And just resting the hands on the ground, open the right leg, the right knee goes towards the ground. It's like a clam or an oyster. And then bring the right leg up to the centre. And as you do so, let the left knee drop to the ground. The right leg can almost follow, so you're almost twisting over if you want to. Breathing in, bring both legs gently back upwards. I mean, they might stay with the knees open, but you're coming up to the centre. And then just drop the right leg out to the side. Left knee can follow. Bring the left knee up. Hopefully you've got the idea, opening and closing like a clam. So you're just opening the inner groin. And then just a couple of pelvic tilts. And then a half happy baby, bringing up your left foot. So as Sue pointed out, it's softer if you hold the outside of your foot, stronger and yogic if you hold from the inside so that the fingers go out. But whatever works for you. The left knee is aiming to the ground. The right hand would be on the right waist or on the floor. And again, you're opening up the hips in a slightly different way. It's quite a strong opening, so I'm not going to keep you here too long. And then when you feel that you've had enough, just bend the left knee in. And once you place the left foot on the ground, come to the right side. Choose your comfortable position of opening out to half happy baby on the right side. And then just bend the leg in, hug both knees into the chest. And some very familiar breathing in, let the knees drift to arm's length, and breathing out, hugging the knees into the chest. Breathing in to arm's length, breathing out, hugging the knees in. Just carry on a few times to your own breath pattern. And then just very gently come to finish what you're doing and just sway the knees from side to side. And now again, keep the knees together and just circle the knees as one unit in one direction. So although this is lower back, if you're compromised in the lower back, it kind of links into the hips as well. And then just very gently circle both knees in the opposite direction. And then we're going to come to a seated position, but come to how you want to. So yogically, you would roll to the right, away from your heart, you'd stay there, and then you just gently come up to a seated position. And as we're coming up, I just wanted to show you, we did it the other day, a immune system booster for the white blood cells. It's like an upside down dancer's pose. You can just go on the side, you can join, you don't have to. You can have your underneath leg stretched and bent, and just stretching out behind you, you'll find that that's where a lot of the white blood cells are manufactured. So it's a boost to the immune system, and you get more of a balance. I mean, you don't have to come up on your elbow, you can
lie on the ground as well if you want to particularly do that. Just really feel it and then go over to the other side. So in the run up to Christmas, I'm kind of highlighting immune boosters. So dancer's pose is lovely and very elegant, and it's this same leg movement, but you're standing up and raising the underneath arms, so it would be very, yes, very dark, elegant, but this is easier to maintain. And then just release, come to sitting, and then back to your hips again, soles and feet together. So this is opening the inner groin. This connects into the lower lymphatic system, so it's still immune system. And using your thumbs, again, you can massage any part of your soles of your feet, or tops of the feet, or underneath your feet.
Your lower immune system is, that we've done before, is around your ankle bones, inside and out, but it's easy to do it on the inside here. So, well, you've got legs that
Yes.
you can do a double one
Yes.
on your feet as well. So just make small circles pressing in around your ankle bones in a circle.
That feels
So you can do
nice.
the outside if you're dexterous. I can't reach there, but there we are. So that helps. That's the lower immune
The system, thank you.
lower lymphatic
I think it's
system.
all the help we can get, really, don't we? There's sort of like so much stuff going around and whatever, just again, just boosting that. In Ayurveda, the ankle and also the knee, they're both null points in acupressure or Ayurvedic null therapy. So the whole ankle, the whole knee is all very helpful. There are individual points there as well, but oh, it's just nice. If I could buy a machine that did a foot massage, I'd get it. You know,
can.
Can you? Is it any good?
Yeah, I suppose you have to use it yourself, you know, it's
I think you just,
better if
isn't
you
there
get,
ones where you just put your finger?
yeah,
There
because
must
you know
be.
there's not much
Someone
pressure,
has
yeah,
invented
so
that.
you'd have to get somebody else to do it to you, probably.
Oh, I'll probably have something like that.
Yeah, I have seen, they're not handheld ones, yeah.
I love my
Just some quite good ones you can get for your neck and back now, which is like duck and prawn.
Mm.
Right, okay. I'll have to have a look. Very appealing. And then just come to a comfortable position. And we're going to finish with a calming breath. Again, for I'm sure we'll need to be calm at times. And just have your hands upright. It's called lotus breath, but you can think of any flower. And just for a few breaths, as you breathe in, open the petals of your left lotus flower, your left flower. And as you breathe out, the petals gently come together so the thumb sort of touches the fingers. And as you next breathe in, you open the petals of your right hand. And as you breathe out, the petals just gently come together. And back to the beginning, your breath patterns. You breathe in, open the petals of your left hand. And as you breathe out, they just very gently close together. And then the right hand. And just take a few breaths, practicing your lotus flower, your lotus petal breath. Calming for the nervous system. Slows the whole body down. And then come to a close. And just while we're sitting here for a moment, come to your thought for the day, your wish, setting your intention for the day. You wish for yourself or for someone close to you.
And then just, you don't have to join the hands, you can just mentally think it, bring your mind to your thoughts to your head, you're bringing your attention to the thoughts, kind thoughts, and to the lips, kind words, and then to the heart, kind deeds. So thank you. Have a very lovely day.